Hey, good morning once again, FCF. We are on day 2 of our journey that we're just kind of calling Telling Jesus. And the idea is this, is that as a lifestyle, as followers of Christ, we need to develop the habit of communicating everything that is going on in our life with Jesus. Just not being ashamed, not being hesitant, to pour out our hearts to Him, to share everything. It's part of the way that God helps us to develop, to grow, to become more Christ-like, as well as it brings resources into our innermost self to cope with the changes in life that we probably aren't as equipped to cope with apart from it. Or in fact, not probably, we certainly are not. So okay, here we are. We're going to look at Mark 6 today. We were in Mark 4 yesterday. And in Mark 6, I'm going to pick up in reading in verse 35. It says, "By this time, it was late in the day." Jesus had been teaching, a number of people. "By this time it was late in the day, so His disciples came to Him. 'This is a remote place,' they said, 'and it's already late. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat.'" We'll pause here a minute. So this is the problem. They were in a quandary. They had thousands of people there. They had been with Jesus, listening to His teaching all day long. They knew that they couldn't feed the people. They knew the people were going to be hungry. So they bring this problem of theirs to Jesus. So there's our key. We should bring our problems to Jesus, no matter great or small. We should develop the habit of sharing these things with Jesus. So let's look on. Verse 37. "But He answered, 'You give them something to eat.' Now their problem is greater. They said to Him, 'That would take 8 months of a man's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?' Jesus speaking. 'How many loaves do you have?' He asked. 'Go and see.' When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties, taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, He gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then He gave them to His disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 baskets full of broken pieces of bread and fish." How many disciples? There were 12. 12 baskets full. They started out with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Now they got baskets full, 12 baskets full. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 baskets full of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of the men who had eaten was 5,000. Now, Jewish society of the day, they numbered men. Please don't be offended by this. They did not number women. They did not number children. So there easily could have been 14,000, 15,000 people here that Jesus fed on 2 fish and 5 loaves. So the disciples have a problem. "Lord, send the people away. It's time for them to eat. We can't feed them." Jesus says, "No, you feed them." So now their problem is bigger. But there's so much going on here for us to learn by. Christ was preparing them for their future ministry as He is preparing us in our lives today to be willing to sacrifice and to give and to use whatever we do have. They did have 5 loaves and 2 fishes, which meant they weren't going to eat that day. At least that's the way it seemed initially. But if they were willing to surrender what they had and use what they had the way Jesus wanted it to be used, to put it into the hands of Jesus so that Jesus could use it to touch the lives and minister to the lives of others, well, they don't lose anything. They don't go without food that day. They, in fact, get more food than what they had when they started with. There's so many lessons here. Number 1, bring our problems to Jesus, first of all. Number 2, always depend on Him to do what He alone can do after we have done all that we can do. We bring what we have to the table. We surrender what we have. We dispense it all into the Lord's hands. We dispense it all to serve others. And then we trust Him to multiply it to meet the needs of others in ways that we can't possibly meet. And this, if you've experienced this for much in your life, it gives you tremendous confidence every time you face a problem, particularly a problem that is revolving around caring for the needs of others that you look at initially and you feel they are so beyond yourself or your means. When you put all that you have into the hands of Jesus, bringing your problem to Him, He does wonderful things. And we get the thrill of seeing other people's lives blessed and surprisingly having our own soul's needs met on a deeper level. Remember, they ended up with 12 baskets full of food for themselves, each one with his own basket. These were big baskets, by the way. Don't think Easter basket. These were big things. And the people went away satisfied. I hope this blesses you, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow.